Welcome back, everybody, to ACG, where we're just a couple gamers. It's your boy Smooth, and we are back with another episode of War Elite, guys. I'm so excited to bring you guys this episode because I feel like it's a rarity nowadays that I actually get the time to sit back, relax, and really take an in-depth look at everything that War Elite, or should I say iFun, has put into these heroes they've given us. Because they are cool. They all have their own look. They all have their own special skills. And even though I've taken a brief look at all of these heroes and their skills before, I've never actually taken a look at who they are as characters. Some people just play the game to have something to click on. Some people play the game because they like the gangster feel. They want to feel powerful. Other people's like storylines, right? I'm a storyline guy. But I've never actually had a real vivid picture of what it is to be in the city, right, of War Elite itself. And so I think it's important that we really do take a look at all of the characters that we have here. And then kind of maybe even we'll do an episode on the story. If I can get my hands on some of that from iFun. Speaking of iFun, I want to take a second to say thank you so much to iFun for sponsoring this content and all War Elite content on this channel. We really appreciate you. It is a wonderful company to work for. They really do take their time and they listen to the community, and they have put together a marvelous project that we call today War Elite. So if you guys have not downloaded this game, you can do that by clicking on the link in the description of the video. For the Apple Play Store and the Android Play Store, you can find it for both. And if you guys have not joined the official War Elite Facebook community or the official War Elite Discord community, you guys are totally missing out. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this guy, he interests me a lot. He looks like Hannibal Lecter, like a young Hannibal Lecter. And I don't think it was until recently I noticed he had a tattoo on his head. I'm not really sure what that is. But let's take a look at it. It says, wait, where's his backstory? They do have backstories. I thought they had backstories, right? Here we go. Alright, he was arrested and imprisoned many times for crimes committed, but he would always find his way out of prison by the next day. The crowbar that he carries with him all the time is his personal toy. And this toy not only serves to help him escape from time to time, but is also his most reliable murder weapon. Interesting. Very interesting. So he likes the crowbar, which you would not look at him and think he's going to use a crowbar on you. When you're looking at Toy Boy, you're thinking like he's going to use some type of very long blade or something of the sort, right? Let's see, something really quick. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. So he's just in and out of prison. I figured we'd get a little bit more information. All right, so Bullwhip. Very interesting. You don't ever really see cowboys in gangster games, but I like that he's got the cowboy drip, but then he's got the gold chain. Interesting. Whip or pistol, justice or evil, it's up to me to decide. Apparently that's one of his favorite sayings. And then it says, though considerate and warm-hearted, he has a warped sense of justice and judges everything based on his own ideals. There is no way for you to know how he sees justice. The way he perceives a person as righteous is just based on whether he likes the person or not. Interesting. So it's like they're giving you personality traits, but really no backstory. All right, so then we got Robert Morton. All right. He says, I have no past and no future. The present? Question mark. You have no right to ask about my present. Alright, so he looks like he's like an Indian descent. Originally a secret police who protects the safety of ordinary citizens. A secret police. But due to his accidental involvement in a political strife, he lost his identity and became a member of the gang. To convince others of his new role, adapted a crazy personality. He adapted. There's supposed to be a space there. He adapted a so to convince others of his new role, he adapted a crazy personality. You may avoid the scimitar he thrusts at your face, but be sure to watch out for the knives that come after. Holy crap, that is a big knife, dude. Like that's a straight up sword. All right, so equally dangerous. All right, I've been curious about this guy. What's up with this guy's story? The gentleman, Jane Wilson. He says, no matter where you are, art is the truth. Okay. Um, that's a big gun. Oopsies. All right. Born into a family without warmth, to escape his family's cold eyes and beatings, he slipped into a theater where he accidentally saw a stage performance and has been deeply fascinated by it ever since. He often sits in the corner of the auditorium, imagining himself standing in front of the heroine and performing a touching love story with her. Unable to tell fact and fiction, he confessed his love with the maddened eyes after his desire expanded, but his confession, which he felt was ever so touching, did not elicit the response he wanted. In a moment of madness, he killed the girl who regarded him as insignificant by mistake. Wow. So he's a scorned lover, bro. That's crazy. That's literally the last thing I thought I was going to read about this guy. That's crazy. So he murked her because she wasn't into him. The Bride. Ooh, interesting. Is the wedding dress too plain? She asks. A few roses might not be a bad idea. Beneath her seemingly innocent appearance lies a seasoned sharpshooter thirsty for blood. The leggings under her white wedding dress conceal a bed of daggers, and the rifle is her preferred weapon of choice. No one knows the story behind her wedding dress, but perhaps it may be an obsession of her past she can't shake off. Rebecca the Bride. Very interesting. Very. Okay. Uh, Black Mist. She just looks like a super badass. My immediate thought when I see her is she would have like an action movie based around her, like just being like a badass spy or undercover agent or something. All right, all right. Let's see here. What do we got? Ella Shaw. She says, when you pluck the rose, your finger is also being pricked. Okay. Ella Shaw can easily conquer many men with her beauty, but beauty is just one of many weapons she possesses. One minute, you'd be staring at her booty, the next you could be staring down the barrel of her pistol. Her emotions may seem wrapped by thorns, but underneath lies a soft heart that is easily moved. Okay, that's crazy. One minute you're staring at her booty, the next minute you're staring at the barrel of a gun. Alright, I was also kind of like what I don't know about because she's a nun, but also a vigilante. I don't know. I don't know what to think of her when I look at her, other than holy crap. Um, all right, so let's take a look at her backstory. She says, "Don't people wish to see God at the end of their lives? How about I send you to meet him now?" Oh Lord. She says, "As a priestess and a guide of the deceased, who says that a nun must dress in a nun's garb and hold the Bible? Those arrows of hers will have made their way through your neck before you can even say hallelujah." Sheesh. So she has no backstory. I was very excited for a backstory for her. The Baron. For any of you who watch Sons of Anarchy, this is Jax's stepdad. All right. Without my trade route, don't even think about getting a cent of money. All right. A shrewd and greedy individual in charge of the trade route used for money laundering by gangs. He could not stand the loss from the stagnation after the Godfather died, and tried to negotiate with the successor to get compensation. Upon learning that the stagnation should last, he disregarded his orders and continued trade secretly. However, the goods were taken away by other gangs. Through constant negotiations, he gradually developed a sense of trust for the successor. Okay, so the Godfather died. Somebody else became boss. and he was working for the Godfather. And I guess he didn't get paid when the Godfather died from their last arrangement. And he tried to negotiate with the new Godfather to get paid. And upon learning that he wasn't going to get paid, he started working, doing business on his own on the side. And then the other gangs took all of his stuff. And then I guess through constant negotiations, he still ended up working with the Godfather. That's interesting. All right, so then we got Soft Needles, and this chick is covered in blood. And immediately when I see her, I'm thinking like I would really hate to have to go to the hospital, and then she walks in like that. Like, oh my god. All right, so Eva, she says, take your pick, a quiet syringe or a noisy gun. Interesting. She says, so it says masks are unable to conceal her beauty. She has a huge collection of colorful masks, and if you're looking to see how she's feeling on any particular day, look no further than her mask. Anyone knows that shooting requires aiming, and her eyes have an uncanny ability to lock onto her target. As a nurse, she can't always be wielding a gun, so she carries a syringe with her as well. Whether it's filled with poison or an antidote, it's entirely up to her. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, this is one of the other guys that very much intrigued me, and I'm really hoping we have a cool backstory. So this is the Wizard Elba, and he says, whether you live or die, well, that depends on my mood. We seem to be getting a lot of that here. All right, so before I even read the story, just upon looking at him, I would say like he was the shaman uh, on an island somewhere. One of the bosses went to this island, and this guy like read their fortune and like gave him some type of inside information on the future. And then so this boss was like, "You got to come work for me," and like took him into the city, and like now he's this shaman gangster. I don't know, man, but cool looking for sure. And then it says acting is his life. Why walk when you can dance? The biggest stage he has ever set foot on is a dance floor in a bar. His small walking stick never leaves his side, and his appearance looks like he's a madman. However, he's the first person that comes to mind to anyone injured in the underworld. Even without medication, the injured need only to see him raise his cane, and they know for certain that they will be saved. Of course, the cane is not just for saving people, for it may contain a poison for all we know. Interesting. Okay. Then we have the preacher. Uh, when I see this guy, I'm like, he worked for the mob for a long time, and then he did something really bad. He had to flee the country, wherever he was from, and he joined the church in order to try and change his ways. But then he realized once he became closer to God or something, he felt like he was more of a vigilante than anything. He would deal out justice of his own and the in the name of God or something. He says, "Who says you can't read the Bible while smoking? God forgives all sins." And then it says, "Who would have thought that Jesse Cooper, who once killed and drank and smoked and lingered around women, should somehow become a holy pastor? That said, whenever a believer come to him, he would just dismiss them with gibberish. Beneath his altar lies a pile of medicine bottles. Whether they are poisonous or antidote, only he knows." Interesting. All right, and then this guy right here, one of my favorites, simply because Wesley Snipes from Blade is one of my all-time favorite characters, one of my all-time favorite movies. It had a huge impact on me growing up, so I can't think of anything else but vampires when I look at him. All right, and he says, "I do not need to explain any bloody thing to you. What do you think you know is simply what you saw." And then it says, "If there's just sides of black and white on this world, then Wesley Blade is one that walks in between. His method is dark, but his purpose is bright. He never bothered to explain anything to anyone. To him, as long as the blade points to the light, it does not matter the path to its bloody." Okay. Okay. This guy here looks like he's been working for the KGB for a very long time. And yeah, he just looks like he does guerrilla warfare. All right. It says, "You think you got me? You should watch your back." A man of strong physique and a calm demeanor. Even when a gun is aimed at the back of his head, he can still take out his enemy with extreme speed and precision. What is not known about him is that he is also an intellectual who conducts experiments in laboratories. Using drugs to kill may be more inconspicuous method, but the sound of gunfire is what thrills him to no end. Okay, Lars Olsen, the outlaw. Interesting. Okay. And then we got Scarface, Marino. He looks like Paul Walker's brother or something. He says, in a dark world full of material desires, the creed of life is through power. Having a humble background, he grew up in the slums and saw the darkness of society, leading him to think that power conquers everything. Cruel and ruthless, he is determined to destroy those who go against his will. It is said that he once killed someone close to him and barely showed a tinge of emotion. Ooh. Alright, so Ghost Omen, Logan Russ. He says guns won't be able to stop me. Maybe if you cried, I'll pause and laugh at you for a while. Scary. And then it says, unlike regular assassins, Logan Russ never relied on firearms. For his most handy weapon is a fire axe. His method of fighting is simple. Raise the axe, swing it down on the enemy. Very interesting. Then, of course, we have King Boxer, Frankie Tyson. Looks like a young Mike Tyson for sure. All right. He says, want to make money? Okay, come with me and I'll make sure you make big bucks. Born in the most chaotic neighborhood in the city, he grew up in an environment that sowed his vengeful character. He is very talented at boxing. An accomplished boxer, he became the boss of the black boxing market after he retired from the sport. He often gives people the impression of a friendly gentleman, but no matter how sweet poison is, it's always deadly. All right. Then we have Snowflake Ishii. I'm not merciful, just reasonable. Ishii's miserable childhood and place of birth gave rise to her cautious character. Dressed in a white kimono, she exudes grace and beauty with every moment. No foe is quick enough to escape her katana. Cruel yet polite, she bows slightly after every kill, then quietly leaves. Snowflake. The boogeyman, Jed Taver. I'm sorry, Traven. Jed Traven. The best quality of a melee soldier is obedience, don't you think? He loves his Rottweiler. Looks more like a pit bull, in my opinion. And if someone hurts his dog, it angers him more than if they were to chop off his hand. Perhaps it's because of raising a dog, but Jed also possesses the characteristics of a dog, unwavering loyalty to his master. Quackery. Hannibal Hopkins, the quack. Alright, what do we got on the quack here? Just one shot and you'll soon fall asleep before you even feel the pain. Says, knows nothing about curing diseases or saving people. The only thing he knows is administering anesthetics to people. His treatments usually involve the patient dying from overdose or sleeping for 3 days. Holy crap. Keep this guy away from me. Then you've got the playboy Tim Wolf. This is the boss's son. He says, hey, beautiful, do you want to hear the sweet sound of bullets through your chest? Holy crap. To Tim Wolf, beauty has always been his source of happiness. Isn't it life's greatest enjoyment to watch the enemy die in front of you while surrounded by beautiful women? Wowzers. Alright, so this guy looks like every Viet Cong soldier I've ever seen in a war movie. Alright, so the tyrant Edmund Coney. I have two personalities, hypocritical and pure evil. Brutal by nature, but willing to suppress his temper for the sake of profit and negotiate with the little patience he has. He believes in getting the most out of the least amount of time, and gets furious once he finds out that things don't end up as expected. He judges everyone with piercing eyes, treating those who can't benefit him as bugs. He also has an uncommon fervor for torturing and killing. Sheesh. Alright, this is one of the ones that I couldn't wait to read here. I've always wondered about Bunny Girl Harley Robbie. I said I hate all insects, but I didn't say you are not one. She says, this is a crazy, unpredictable individual with green hair that glimmers in the dark night as a wisp, like a wisp. She hates insects to a degree that she has no problem with wasting a bullet to destroy one. It is said that she used to be calm and intellectual. How she spiraled into insanity is a mystery. Interesting. Alright, then we got Mockingbird Asuka. I don't think that the older the doctor is, the better. It is your honor of a young beauty like me to treat you. Loves martial arts and gets a huge sense of accomplishment in curing diseases and saving people. She accidentally discovered that Jaigong can meet both of her needs. I don't know what that is. After honing her skills in martial arts, she became a rare existence in the gang as someone that can both hurt and save people. Cool, cool. Then we have Cool Fish, Donnie Hill. I can't see anything when I follow the crowd. Born into wealth in a noble family, yet dissatisfied with peaceful and a normal life, he decided one rainy day to move towards a wayward life. No one could understand why he made such a change. Hence, he got the nickname Freak. Once you hear him squeeze his knuckles, it means death is approaching. Woo. Then we got the golf man, Max Woods. Dude just looks like he plays golf for a living. He says, struggle more, otherwise it gets boring. When he was a teenager, he had his first taste of wealth when he helped the gang to smuggle goods. As long as he can reap the benefits, he thinks of nothing of betraying or killing others. His greatest joy in life is to torture his opponents, and seeing their faces contorted in agony gives him immense satisfaction and happiness. Okay. Now we'll look at the 5 that I don't have. So first we have Pied Piper Bill Wolf, the boss. Alright. He says, young man, why do you bully an old man like me? Bang! I'm terribly sorry, my finger slipped. If Godfather has the power to make all gangs submit in fear, then this elderly man certainly has something to do with it. His lanky frame and Tang-styled suit gives him an otherworldly appearance, and his sly eyes add a touch of gloom to him. No one knows how he won the trust of the Godfather. Perhaps there is a history between them. So he's not the boss. I thought he was the Godfather. So he must be like Godfather, close to the Godfather? I don't know. Wait, yeah, because this is the... No, okay. Peculiar one, Eric Carson. You know you can't hide in my sight. The special power Eric was born with is like a curse. He was not able to control the power when he was a kid. Not before his family was killed and his dearest friend suffered. Eventually he gained control over the power as he grew up, but what he went through has made him unable to accept anyone else. Until he met Lillian, the nimble cat girl, who tried anything to get his attention. She's a troublemaker, but he always gets the upper hand with ease. Finally, the enigmatic kitty exhausted. Now when they spend time together, it would be him listening to Lillian's fun trivia. I don't know what, that's the most random... What? This is the coolest guy, and he has the weirdest story. Alright, this is Avenger Kira. You can try and see if your gun or my knife is quicker. Once a member of an assassin group, she tried to leave his family behind. She tried to leave her family this life behind and devised a plan to escape from the control of the group. For her past could not be buried. No matter where she fled, her former group members and enemies would hunt her down. Forced to join the gang as an assassin who acts on her own, she seeks refuge in the name of the Godfather. Cool. Alright, Big Daddy. What's up with this dude, Big Daddy Bob Hung? I already told you to listen. Don't make me sweat unnecessarily. Though he's cautious and has a fierce temper. I don't know what happened to the music. Sorry, guys. Alright. Though he's cautious and has a fierce temper, his expression easily betrays his emotions, so he wears a pair of sunglasses all the time. He's extremely ruthless and leaves no room for error. His huge belly has never been a hindrance to him, but instead gives people a sense of reliability. Interesting. Alright, Stoneheart Neil Hunt. This dude just straight up looks like an assassin for real. He says no one knows if he could see the sun again. Okay. Neil Hunt was raised as a professional hitman. but his good-natured heart has grown tired of the repeated killing. Neil struggles with the ego contradiction. He constantly chases freedom, but does not believe in the slightest that he can be free. Sadly, he finds that he has nothing but an assassin hound, chained at the feet of the powerful. Being able to live another day has become his only goal. Interesting. Yeah, guys, I mean, all of these characters are super cool. I would love to see all of these characters with a little bit more backstory, rework the story of all the characters, and then work them all into an overall story. I think that would make the players a bit more attached to these characters, for sure. But yeah, guys, I really hope you guys like the content. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys get notified every single time we go live. And I appreciate all the love and support that I get from the community all the time. You guys are amazing. If there's any type of content you guys would like to see, don't forget to go ahead and drop it in the comments section of the video, so I can give you guys exactly what you want to see. If you guys if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about as far as events, or maybe you guys have some stuff going on in your server you'd like me to cover, it would be an absolute pleasure. And I would just like to take this time again to thank our sponsors at iFun for supporting this content, sponsoring this channel, and all the War Elite content on our channel. You guys are absolutely amazing, and we'll be back again after Christmas. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great holiday, an amazing Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the new year. Peace.